Welcome to Tokyosaurus. So what's up in Japan? So in a very recent interview with the designers behind the original Pikachu and the original 151 Pokemon, they revealed a whole bunch of secrets surrounding our beloved Pikachu, and they even talked about the now scrapped third evolution of Pikachu, whom they already named Gorochu. They gave us the whole story to how Pikachu came to be, so let's dive right into it and check out what is basically Pikachu's origin story. At the time when Pokemon was in its early stages of creation, they had 3 designers, including the famous Ken Sugimori. Since the game was about collecting and trading, they wanted both tough-looking monsters as well as more kawaii-looking monsters. Ken Sugimori was really good at designing the tough ones like Mewtwo, Gyarados, Snorlax, Lapras, but they needed a female's perspective when it came to designing Pikachu. That's where Nishida steps in. Nishida was given the task to make an electric type and a monster with 2 evolutions. It could be based on any animal, but it had to be cute. So Nishida drew up the initial concept art basing Pikachu off Daifuku, which is a sort of rice cake, and which is why Pikachu is so soft and squishy looking. She also drew it in pixel art back then and have lost the data since, so there is actually no recorded data of how Pikachu's initial concept art looked like. So just think a rice cake with ears sticking out, but apparently it looked nothing like what Pikachu looks like today. She named it Pikachu because Pika Pika means to glitter or to sparkle, but the chew part just came and she doesn't remember the exact reason, but she had no intention in making Pikachu into a mouse. But since that was the name she came up with, the president Satoshi Tajiri decided to make Pikachu into an electric mouse. From there on, Nishida continued to develop Pikachu as the electric mouse we've all grown to love. She thought it would be nice to have it store electricity in its cheeks, and at that time she was really into squirrels, and since squirrels store food in their cheeks, she thought it would be cute for Pikachu to store electricity in its own cheeks. Squirrel tails are also cute, so she gave Pikachu a tail as well, and to fit the theme she gave Pikachu a lightning-shaped tail. So in reality, Pikachu's design was actually more inspired by a squirrel than a mouse, but I guess it's really a combination of rice cakes, squirrels, and mice. So in the original game, they made Pikachu especially hard to catch compared to other Pokemon in the area because they didn't want everyone to have a Pikachu. They wanted Pikachu to be a rare Pokemon, which made Pikachu even more popular, and everyone ended up catching Pikachu as one of their first priorities. Then she went on to tell us why Pikachu was yellow. This one is actually quite simple. She used yellow because yellow is the color attribute of electricity, so it was just easier to understand Pikachu's element from first glance. Then came the 2 evolutions that followed Pikachu, Raichu and Gorochu. Rai means thunder in Japanese, and Goro is an onomatopoeia for thunder. Gorochu had fangs and even had a pair of horns, probably inspired by the Japanese god of thunder himself, Raijin, who is usually a pretty scary looking dude. So Gorochu would have definitely looked beastly. They finished Gorochu but had to take him out due to game balance issues. But it's kind of surprising that they haven't added Gorochu back into the Pokemon games to come after Red and Blue, as game balance probably wasn't as big of an issue anymore. Maybe they wanted to keep Pikachu's line of evolution cute and cuddly, but to me, I think the real reason they didn't want to give Pikachu another evolution is because they want Pikachu to stay as Pikachu. I think in hindsight, they probably would have taken out Raichu from the game as well, if they knew Pikachu was going to be that popular. I mean, in the games themselves, there's an item called Light Ball that doubles the special attack and attack stats of Pikachu, making him perfectly usable without evolving him and probably more useful than Raichu in a lot of cases. And the Light Ball can only be used by Pikachu and not Raichu. But at least Raichu finally got some love in the Sun and Moon games when he got the Alola form. When the original Pokemon game was about to come together, they actually did a poll within the company to ask everyone which Pokemon did they like the best. And Pikachu by far won the popularity contest, so it wasn't too much of a surprise to them after they released it, and it quickly became the mascot of the series. But when Pikachu really became popular was the start of the Pokemon anime, when they decided to pair Ash with Pikachu instead of one of the starter Pokemon. And one of the big reasons they decided to do that was because if Ash decided to go with one of the starters instead as his main partner, that would create a gap with the kids who did not pick that Pokemon in the game. So instead, they decided to go with Pikachu. Even though they knew people liked Pikachu, they didn't know exactly how much because they couldn't really use the internet for this kind of stuff back then, so it was still a risk. But obviously, this risk paid off. Sugimori thinks that people love Pikachu because Pikachu is easy to understand. Pikachu had a characteristic shape and its colors were always simple. It was easy to understand but yet still had distinguished features. He believes that is the secret to Pikachu's universal appeal. Clefairy was apparently another attempt at making a cute Pokemon and possibly a franchise mascot, but it got completely wrecked by Pikachu and it wasn't even close. That last one you probably already knew, but still pretty interesting now with the entire origin story for Pikachu. Anyways, what do you guys think of Pikachu and his supposed third evolution, Gorochu? Would you want to see Gorochu in the upcoming Nintendo Switch Pokemon game? As usual, I left a poll up there, and also let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to thumbs up before you leave, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications if you want to be updated with the latest that's going on in Japan, and I'll see you guys in the next one.